I don't think he could win. I don't think he could win. He's too progressive coming from this state and what he's done in this state to win in any southern state, any red state. I disagreed, but no, this is a progressive African-American owned station, and I'm sure they like you, but doesn't think you can win. What do you say to that?
Taking playful shots at politicians is one thing, but torching them live on air, that's another level. And that's exactly what Bill Maher just did. For years, he gave Gavin Newsom a pass, even treated him like political royalty. But not anymore. Maher went full throttle, tearing into California's golden boy and exposing just how bad things have gotten under his watch. It wasn't polite. It wasn't filtered. It was brutal. Stick around and hit subscribe if you're into seeing the truth served raw.
Gavin Newsom is the governor of California, home to 12% of all Americans and 50% of all Mexicans. On the upside, Newsom is the only governor, with the possible exception of Kristi Noem, who looks like they could do porn.
Did Maher really just say Gavin Newsom's greatest accomplishment is looking like he stars in adult films? That's not just a jab. That's a knockout from a guy who used to sing his praises. Imagine running the most powerful state in America and being remembered for your hair gel and smirk. Maher took Newsom's image and turned it into a punchline. When even your former fans are roasting you, it's not just bad optics, it's political freefall.
I don't want to say he really, really wants to be the guy who steps in if the current nominee goes down, but he gets an alert on his phone every time Biden can't think of a word. The downside is that governor of California is kind of like being conservator for Britney Spears. They'll attack him on California's homeless problem, but there's a response to that. The homeless can live anywhere, but they choose California.
Let's call it like it is. California practically put out a welcome sign for the homeless. Why wouldn't they flood in? The laws reward chaos and punish responsibility. Under Newsom, homelessness hasn't grown, it's exploded. Streets turned into tent camps, neighborhoods into open-air shelters. Add his soft-on-crime approach, and the spiral's complete. Criminals get sympathy. Citizens get fear. Homelessness up, crime up, livability down. That's not progress. That's collapse.
Knock on Gavin has always been that he's slick. Yeah, you know what? I'm okay with that. I noticed slick is something no one has been accusing Biden of lately. Do you want good at talking or don't you? Newsom is the best communicator in the party with a history of standing up to bullies, and his name lends itself to the best slogan since I Like Ike. I'm having Gavin.
Maher finally said what Californians whisper every day. Newsom's a showman, not a statesman. Smooth, photogenic, media-ready. But under the gloss, nothing there. He's mastered the art of saying plenty while meaning nothing. All talk, no traction. Polished speeches don't fix crime, clean up streets, or bring down rent. His silver tongue is just a shield from accountability. When even his old allies start calling him hollow, it's not just criticism, it's confirmation.
But yesterday, with my friend Tavis Smiley, I'm an investor and a supporter of that station. And he said, "Who do you want for running president?" I mentioned, I think you'd be good at the job. Not this year, we know. No, I know. But he said, I don't think he could win. I don't think he could win. He's too progressive coming from this state and what he's done in this state to win in any southern state, any red state. I disagreed, but no, this is a progressive African-American owned station, and I'm sure they like you, but doesn't think you.
Let's be honest, Newsom running for president would be comedy gold if it weren't so tragic. His record in California is a warning label, not a resume. Companies are escaping, families are packing, and the middle class is vanishing. The state that once symbolized success now represents decline. And it's not just conservatives saying it. Democrats are quietly backing away too. When your own base says you've gone too far left, your national dreams are dead on arrival.
The swing states, there's only 8 of them.
Right. Well, California is an interesting case study, isn't it? It's the size of 21 state populations combined.
Yeah.
2/3 of the state is very deeply red. We don't need to be lectured on rural politics or border issues. I mean, in so many ways, these are familiar issues, and the issues of the heartland of the United States are very much a part and parcel of the work we're doing in this state. But look, I understand this notion that you're from the coast, you don't understand those things. You can't talk the language. You're not able to communicate. You're not able to actually encourage and find that common
No, it's
ground.
stuff like there's a new law in this. I think we have way too many regulations and laws, as we've talked about. And this one, I think, says if you're a department store with over 500 employees, you have to have a gender-neutral
the toys.
toy department.
Yeah.
Stuff like
Maher nailed it. What's killing Newsom politically isn't just crime or homelessness. It's the endless woke theater he keeps funding. People are exhausted with identity politics dominating everything. And California? Ground zero for absurdity. Take this gem. Any toy store with over 500 workers must have a gender-neutral aisle. Because apparently, action figures and dolls need political labels now. These are the clownish priorities that make voters roll their eyes and say, this guy wants to run the country.
too much government there.
That's an interesting one, because the department stores came to us supporting that. And they were the ones making a case for that. They were making a case they're already moving in that direction.
Wanted you to make a law about them?
Well, but they supported the legislation. It wasn't legislation that was enacted, that was initiated from my office, but it was legislation that came up with interesting support from the industry itself. But I understand how that's exploited, and good people can disagree. But that's not something we woke up and said, this is a top priority for the state, when we know the top priorities are homelessness, housing, the issues of crime, quality of life, and issues related to regulation and taxes, which are all top.
Here's the Newsom pattern. Act aware, do nothing. He loves pointing out problems, crime, housing, costs. But awareness doesn't equal leadership. Everyone can see the disaster. The question is, who's fixing it? Knowing the ship's sinking doesn't make you the captain. It makes you an observer. And that's Newsom's comfort zone. Sound bites over solutions. Californians don't need more awareness campaigns. They need action. And they're still waiting for it.
Good job this year making it rain.
You're welcome. That was my legislative priority.
It was looking bad there for a while, and we still don't have enough water in the Colorado River and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then whenever I read, 80% of the water goes to agriculture. Almonds.
Right.
No one ever asked you about almonds? Oh, I'm going to ask you about almonds.
Here's a jaw dropper. Around 80% of California's water goes to agriculture, and a big chunk of that, almond farms. Meanwhile, the state begs residents to take shorter showers and watch their lawns die. Every day, people ration water, while corporations flood orchards for exports. The hypocrisy is unreal. The state burns and dries, yet big money never misses a drop. Ordinary Californians suffer while corporate donors thrive. That's not mismanagement, it's mockery.
A boatload of
I'm
almonds.
well
here.
aware.
You know what? You know how much water it takes?
Many gallons.
1,900 gallons to grow a pound of almonds. Yeah. Come on, man. take on big almond.
Big almonds.
I mean, it's not like we don't have the water.
No.
But
You're right about it. It's not that we don't have the water. That said, the last couple of years were tough. I mean, but it's also where the water's falling and we're not capturing it. And we're not capturing those extreme years with these atmospheric rivers. Wets are getting a lot wetter, dry's drier, hot's getting a lot hotter. And so we've got to modernize our conveyance system. We've got to modernize our storage, not just above ground, but below ground. And so that's a big part of our focus and frame, including desalinization plants. We have 20 projects just on desal that we're working on today. So we put out a detailed water strategy that includes, by the way, getting that Delta Conveyance project back up and operational, and includes the first above ground off stream storage facility in half a century in the state, which, by the way, is being aided by a regulatory package I pushed forward to reduce red tape.
When it comes to spin, no one polishes failure like Newsom. Every press event is a production. He smiles, gestures, and sells decline as innovation. But behind the performance, nothing's improving. Homelessness? Worse. Crime? Higher. Businesses? Gone. He's turned PR into governance. But California doesn't need a salesman. It needs a leader. And no amount of wordplay can hide the wreckage left behind.
I'm telling you, you're good at this job. Okay, but here's the thing. Okay, but here's, I feel like the last couple of years you've like purposely picked this fight with the red states. I mean, the DeSantis. Yeah, but I don't want to live in the Civil War.
I agree with that.
You know what? But you seem like you purposely want to set up this dichotomy between, this is a blue state and that's a red state. Yeah. And I don't want to live in that country. I like Florida.
I'm with you. And by the way, I like Florida as well. I like all these states. I completely agree. I don't want to have a state of mind that's a constant fight or flight. We've gone through so much. We've been polarized and traumatized. There's been a tough 5-6 years across the globe, not just in this country. That said, I'm not going to sit back and watch. You made the point just a moment ago in your monologue. You got folks out there trying to bring us back to a pre-1960s world. America in reverse, rolling back voting rights, LGBTQ rights, women's rights, not just access to abortion, but contraception.
Newsom is the poster boy for woke politics gone wild. And if America gives him the keys, brace yourself. He'll do to the nation what he did to California. Homelessness, taxes, business flight, social chaos. It's all part of the Newsom package. California should be a model of success, but he turned it into a warning sign. Strip away the smiles and sound bites, and what's left is failure dressed in designer suits. Obama sold hope and left division. Newsom sold progress and left collapse. And now some want to promote him? America's already seen this movie. California was the preview. Ignore it, and we'll all pay for the sequel. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.